play with my heart. Just let me go. Please let me go. You like to love so hard and then you throw it away. You like to open skies and then you leave it on there. Someone I can never be with. You joke about my flaws and weaknesses. And then just throw it away. It on me. How bad it was. Yes, you never really cared because you said your parents never gave you hug. And as a child you were never loved. Then you threw it away. You left to open skies and then you leave it on there. Someone I can never be with. You joke about my flaws and weaknesses. We used to be solid, not falling apart. Things never not okay when you were mine. You used to be honest, not pulling my heartstrings. Every other day you change your mind. I'm tired of being the boy like that. Something so orientated, cause you want me, then you're busy. Girl, it's not that complicated. Got me tied up in a loop, round, round. You got me running in a circle. Trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? In a circle. Back where it started, I'm stuck out like glue. You keep me on a loop. Trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Runs in a circle. Back where it started, I'm stuck out like glue. You keep me on loop. I used to respect you, thought I was enough. Yeah, feels like half a century ago. Guess you keep coming back after telling me off, without even feeling sorry between goodbye and hello. Again, now we can grow again. How about no again and again? I'm trying to tell you again, but friends struggling to comprehend that we broke up. And it again and again and again and I'm getting busier and busier. So disorientated, cause you want me, then you're busy. Girl, it's not that complicated. Got me tied up in a loop and round. You got me running in a circle. Way back to you, what happened to us? In a circle. Back where it started, I'm stuck out like glue. You keep me on a loop. I found my way back to you. What happened to us? Runs in a circle. Back where I started, I stuck you like glue. You keep me on loop. Yeah, when you're high, some kind of little toy for you to wind up while you lying in bed and feeling lonely. I'm tired of being deployed like all I ever use. When you think about me, I'm nothing but a boy for you. Why do I wanna pretend to get to know me? You got me running in a circle. I found my way back to you. What happened to us? I'm in a circle. Back where I started, I stuck you like glue. Keep me on loop. I found my way back to you. What happened to us? I'm in a circle. Back where I started, I stuck you like glue. Keep me on loop. Got me running in a circle. Feelings that I can't explain. The damage that is done to my mind. Out of here. Stars find a way out. Are you? I'm used to waiting. Are you? Would you be ready to? I'm used to staying with you. Would you be ready? We can't find you. I'm used to waiting. Are you? Would you be ready there too? I'm used to staying. Would you? Would you be ready? Dopamine when you send pictures. When you send pictures. Can't be waiting. Whoa. Dopamine when you send pictures. When you send pictures. Whoa. Would you be ready? We can't find you. I'm used to waiting. Are you? Did too. I'm used to staying. Would you? Would you? Hey, what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay up to the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. Some Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Yeah, chances are plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get, so what the so what the so what the you're pretending that you like somebody else. Like you got boys waiting in line to take you home. But tell the truth, you spend the night alone. Let's be alone. So we'll be safe till the morning light. Two words can make it right. Just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? You hanging on the rooftop by yourself. Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get, so what the hell? So what the hell? Are you hanging on the roof? Are you there? Are you there? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get, so stay.
Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to another Valhallan Camp Hill live stream. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we of course are going to be having Fortnite duos very quickly because we are already starting. I will introduce you to the teams that we will be watching. Number one team, we will be watching SteelBall 1, aka Malachi and Miko. Team number 2 will be Zfighters, aka Zarek and Gavin, and the final team will be the SixSeveners, aka Matthew and Cohen. But we are already dropped, so we will switch on over to Fortnite. Team number 1, aka SteelBall 1. Alright, currently watching Miko's perspective here. So it looks like they're going to drop, not completely on the edge of the map, but farther over. And it looks like they're potentially going to an unnamed POI, so we'll have to keep that in mind here when we look at their loadouts as soon as they actually land. A little bit of a farther drop for these guys, so might not see a lot of action, especially early on. I know that's something they struggled with last week, landing at very contested POI, so maybe a little bit of an adjustment for these guys. Potentially doing some scouting out here. And it does look like someone is coming close to them. Actually, if not contesting their POI, Malachi and Miko are going to have to get down quick here, try and find some loot. Looks like it could just be a solo. Miko going to land quick on the shotgun. Finds an AR as well. Going to take one shot, going to find 33 damage. Going to find 66. Malachi knocks one. Can they find the other? They know exactly where he's at. He's right behind the tree. Bunch of damage coming through, and they are able to eliminate that duo very early on, which is not only big for them, but a good way to get themselves kind of warmed up into this first drop. And now these guys are just going to do their best to loot this unnamed POI. Definitely going to take their time here. Again, seemed like that was the only team that was coming anywhere near them, so these guys might be able to even rotate into some named POIs and help pick those clean. So these guys could see quite a bit of loot. And looks like these guys are just having some fun right now. We will switch on over to our second team, that being Zfighters, Zarek and Gavin, to see how they are doing early in this first drop. Alright, switching on over very quickly, and we already have a bunch of stuff going on. We see that Gavin is already eliminated just up to Zarek at this point. Zarek is going to have to play this very carefully. The reboot card's still having a lot of time here, but Zarek is going to have to start making some moves for it if he wants to try and get Gavin back. If not, he's going to have to play this whole drop by himself. And Zarek probably one of the more comfortable people to do that with, especially with his team. But still challenging no matter what. And Zerk potentially trying to find some movement item. Finds the crypto tree here. Not exactly sure what that does. There's a new item. New season, I believe, just recently came out for Fortnite. So we're going to see some new items we potentially haven't seen before. Zerk is able to get up to 100 shield there. Still doesn't have Gavin's reboot card. Looks like he might just abandon it. And is going to have a long drop to go. No, actually, I spoke too soon. And with as little time as possible, we'll make a play for the reboot card. They're going to do his best to survey the area here before he actually goes for the reboot card. And looks like he is going to be able to get it. Gavin died in a vehicle. That's a little unlucky. Probably trying to get out. He is able to secure it as he flips said vehicle. And he gets crashed on very quickly. Zarek, luckily already in that Mercedes, is able to get out. But we suspect that he will get chased this time, as that other team has to know that they did a lot of damage to him. Zarek does not care. He's going for loot. I see him use some resources here. Try to get himself back in a little bit more comfortable health area. And actually, could go for reboot right here. Still very close to that team that had killed Gavin, we presume, and it could potentially be chasing him. So might want to go a little bit farther in. And it does look like he is going to get shot at. Currently seeing Gavin's map. There it goes, very low health. And gets crashed on very quickly. Luckily able to build himself in a little bit, hopefully buy him more time. But very low health. He does have the shield to use, but can he use it is the question. And no, unfortunately, his Valhallan teammates, Matthew and Cohen, are going to be the people that kill him, which is so funny because now we're going to go watch Matthew and Cohen. All right, now watching again Matthew and Cohen's perspective, kind of funny that well, one of our teams that we were watching killed one of the other ones. Typically, we don't see that happen very often. We have seen it happen before. Luckily, we don't typically have that. I guess maybe we get lucky. Maybe I get lucky as a person who picks the teams that we watch. So now just down to 2 teams left to watch. And while these guys are still looting at Pump Power, we're going to go back to SteelBall 1 and see how they're doing so far. Alright, going back to Miko's perspective here, as him and Malachi are driving around, surveying the map, trying to find a position that they want to be in. Miko gonna scan the area there with the mask. Doesn't see anybody, so they're just gonna get out. Something that's been discussed was potentially playing more aggressive. I think we saw it there from Matthew and Cohen right there when we saw them kill, excuse me, Zarek and Gavin. So potentially here from Malachi and Miko, hunting players down. So these guys might hold high ground here. They are right on the edge of circle. Could be a way to catch people rotating into them. And there is some gunshots behind them. Like that northwest area. A lot of builds coming up. Potentially Miko and Malachi being chased here, not wanting to take that engagement. Or maybe we see the opposite, them getting hungry for these kills. We see a lot of builds coming out, and they're going to jump out of this car. So maybe it looks like they're just going to switch here. As they are just going to get out of that combat. And there is a launch pad right there. We could see them use that. A little bit slow and risky to actually land down from, but a lot of slur barrels right there. These guys are definitely going to be able to get back to 200 of each. Miko just has to be disciplined at this point. Wait for his teammate. And they are going to get to 200 each. But now, Circle is on them, and they're going to take some unnecessary damage here. Decide not to take the launch pad. Are going to take the car. Have officially taken 10. See how much more they're going to take. Only take 12 damage, but in these kinds of drops, any amount of damage can be significant. And we see the medkit there get used for only 12 health, and that's exactly what I mean. Now, that is a wasted resource because he only took 12 damage. That guy still surveying the map. A couple more shots fired going on around them, but deciding just to get out of there. Might try and find some lurking shots here. Miko gonna find a spleef there. Does find actually one big shot. Miko finding a couple big shots here and there. Deciding to not actively engage though, and it looks like they're gonna have to engage here as they have flipped their car. And someone is in their box. Miko goes down to 3 health. Malachi having a little bit more. Miko healing up. Malachi more actively engaging in this fight. So he has to try and buy his teammate time. Doesn't find a shot there, but takes some damage. Takes some more damage. Miko is able to heal back up. And Malachi is going to get knocked. And Miko, trying to get out. Decides to go back in. Miko's going to potentially small pot up there. No, changes his mind. Wants to reposition himself before he does it. I believe, I don't know, no, he's scanned. Scanned knowing exactly where they are now. Needs to be careful though, although he gets scanned now. And now the opponent's knowing exactly where Miko's at. He's going to have to play this carefully. He needs to decide whether he wants to take this engagement or get out. Looks like he is going to try and pick up this reboot card. He gets scanned again. He tries to grab it very quickly, and he does. But can he get out? Does he have enough resources? His team collapses on him very quickly, trying to find any way out. And he builds mines right into one of them as Miko is going to fall as well. And now we are on our final team, the SixSeveners. Matthew and Cohen are the last alive. Let's see how they can round out this drop number 1 for us. 24 players remaining, 26 counting them. Matthew and Cohen currently on high ground. Surveying the area. Note that they're not exactly on the edge of storm, but in a very good spot here. So we anticipate that, actually, I would anticipate that they're probably not going to be in this next circle, but going to catch a lot of people rotating in last second here. And as I speak, shall confirm players directly west of them. Matthew, you're going to take a couple shots. Doesn't find any, though. Matthew finds a big one there for 30. And I was correct. Not in zone. But these guys are going to be able just to kind of sit and wait. And especially that team that they were shooting at kind of has to go somewhere near them. They could get find a good angle on them. And actually, it looks like they're just going to get out here, reposition themselves, try and get into that zone. And it looks like they're going to switch cars here, something that has a little bit more durability, a little more gas. See some gunshots going on potentially west of them. Decided just to kind of survey, drive by a little bit. No pressure for them to take this engagement, especially if they don't want to. Going to continue to drive south here. And just really not only rotating dead side of circle here, but really surveying this whole distance between themselves and the circle, and then themselves and the storm. These guys covering a lot of ground. And they are going to quietly slide on in, but do take some shots. They're going to try and abandon and get out quickly. I don't know where exactly these shots are coming from. It looks like kind of northwest of them. Potentially from the islands. There could be another team on the ground that we just didn't get to see, unfortunately. They're going to build up a little bit. It does look like those shots were coming from the island. And actually, another team driving in front of them. Gonna have to be wary of that car, especially where Owen is positioned. It's like Matthew's going to jump on him and try to build up a little bit. Matthew's going to take a lot of damage. I was about to say a little bit, but turned into a lot very quickly. Now Cohen has to try and buy his teammate some time here. So Matthew can heal up. And they're going to get in the car and drive into zone. Definitely not in a position that those guys wanted to be in anymore. Definitely a smart rotation idea here, as they may be able to get just this little bit of high ground. No, unfortunately, that mountain peak just right on the outside of the new zone, right in the edge of storm. And they're going to have to try and find another position. A lot of shots coming through. Their vehicle just on the edge, on the brink of exploding. Can't afford to take much more damage here. Trying to position themselves under this mountain peak here. I believe I saw it was called Predator Peak, which is a crazy name, but and they're actually getting dove on very quickly. Definitely doing the best to build themselves in. Matthew taking a little bit of damage. Owen going down quickly. And Matthew's got a lot to do by himself here. Takes a big hit of damage. Already into greens. Tries to shield up, but is gonna fall. And just like that, unfortunately, we are going to go back and hope drop number 2 goes back. Yeah, just a little bit of an unlucky drop. We saw that, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, but we saw that Dean, maybe, that guy and his teammate. We saw them kill not only Matthew and Cohen, but Malachi and Miko as well. So, definitely a very aggressive team that was, and those guys are chasing down kills. They were hungry for them, so that I suspect that team will do very well this drop, but Yeah, honestly, I think nothing really went wrong. I think it was just a little bit of unluckiness. I think maybe some of our guys got caught in positions that they didn't want to be in, and then unfortunately, it was just too late for them to get out. I mean, obviously, we saw that very early on with Gavin and Zarek, and those guys, Gavin falling quickly and Zarek having to do a lot by himself, and Matthew and Cohen being there to clean it up. And then we saw Deem and his duo take out Malachi and Miko, and again Matthew and Cohen. So obviously a very good duo that duo is, and these guys, they have not a lot to learn, a little bit to learn, and need to really make sure they are comfortable and ready to go here in this next drop, knowing that there is players of that level in their drops. We need to be aware of him. We need to be able to adjust to whatever that player is doing. Give me 1 second here, so I'm just gonna switch back into our primary team, so that way as soon as this drop is ready to go, we can watch it. But no drop code yet. We'll get the update obviously as soon as the new drop cards are live. Actually, I can just check that myself. I suspect there was, what, I want to say 12 to 10 people left after Cohen and Matthew died, so definitely not super crazy long timeline, but definitely gonna have to chill for a little bit while we wait for these drop codes. You'll have to just excuse me, I am currently looking at the drop codes. Yes, nothing yet. So, yeah, this was something that they talked about a lot. Coach Kyle and Coach Jonathan talked about specifically a lot this week was playing more aggressive, and I think with that advice, there's good aggressive and then there's bad aggressive, right? There's a difference between playing proactively and playing responsively, or playing in response to other players. But I think what we're seeing is kind of that mix. A lot of our guys are so used to playing passively and playing in reaction and in response to other players, that now that they're being told to play proactively and take control of their games, and they're not, I don't want to say they're not sure how to do it, but they're not how to do it properly completely, right? Maybe they're taking engagements that they shouldn't be taking, or getting themselves stuck in positions that they probably don't want to be in. And because of those kinds of things, we're seeing engagements that realistically, maybe or maybe not, our team should be winning, but they should be doing much better in than what they are. And unfortunately, I hate to pick on them, but looking at that Matthew and Cohen fight, right, those guys got there first, were able to take some free shots as they were running up, but didn't really capitalize on that advantage. And then as soon as the team got to them, Cohen went down quick, and then Matthew had a lot to do, and we saw that quite a bit, where other duos really focused one player from any of the teams that we got to watch, and then it was just a 1v2. And at that point, especially, no matter what skill level you are, a 1v2, you got a lot to do, right? You have a lot to do. Obviously, you have to kill not only one player, but then you have to win a second fight when you're probably already low on health, and it's just a whole different level of pressure and so many other things going on. So again, I don't think that was anything done wrong on anybody's part. I think that that's just a little bit of cleaning up on the playing aggressive that we need to see from these teams. And realistically, all of these teams are good enough that they can make those adjustments, that they're going to come out swinging this next drop. And I think it's going to be really interesting. I want to specifically point out Gavin and Zarek. This is a team that we actively see play a little bit more proactive compared to our other teams. So it'll be really interesting to see how they do compared to the other teams we've seen. Matthew and Cohen are also can really play very well at doing both sides, where they can be very aggressive and do that very well, but then they can also be very passive and do that well. Miko and Malachi, from what we've seen, they're a little bit more of a passive team, and I think that is really where we're starting to see a lot of that struggle in the how do we play more aggressively. Obviously, especially with Miko and Malachi, they did great. They got that first squad wipe very early on in the game. Obviously, their drop got contested. They played that perfectly, but then I think for a lot of their drop, they were just surveying the map, kind of driving around. We didn't really see a lot of that aggressiveness, and then the team pushed them, and they got eliminated. So But it'll be really interesting to see how these teams adjust and see what they're going to do for this second drop, as we are just waiting for this drop code to be up, which I anticipate will be up any minute now. So as soon as we get that up, obviously we'll give you guys a little update. But until then, you have to continue to listen to me talk. And I think one of the key things here is really how these teams adjust, you know. Obviously, out of the teams that we did get to see, Matthew and Cohen really being the only team that did well placement-wise. I mean, obviously we saw, you know, Miko and Malachi had a squad wipe. Gavin and Cohen had a squad wipe. I don't think, or Matthew and Cohen, excuse me, had a squad wipe. I don't think Gavin and Zarek had any kills. So, again, Gavin and Zarek are kind of the exception here. Those guys are going to be able to adjust. Zarek is very phenomenal at the game. That guy just has to turn it on, and they will do very well. Gavin, the same way. Mechanically, as a teammate, Gavin is very solid. I think just really trying to find what still works the best for those two together as a duo. These other teams are really going to have to see how they can adjust to this more aggressive play style and to potentially players that are playing more aggressive. That's the other thing, is that when you start to become more aggressive, other players naturally become more aggressive. And you're kind of putting, I don't want to say a target on the back, but maybe you're putting a little chip on the shoulder for other teams when it comes to you. You know, other teams they're gonna want to take you out. They're gonna want to take you down, especially when you're just good at the game. Other people are gonna want to beat you, and especially for Matthew and Cohen, these are guys that we've seen do crazy things before. You know, we've seen Matthew get second place finishes with the multiple kills. We've seen Cohen do the exact same thing. So, really interesting to see how these guys are all going to adjust to a probably not ideal drop number 1. And see if they can kind of rein it back in for drop number 2. See if they can kind of put all that pressure and all that negativity behind them and lock back in. And just in case you guys didn't hear, new drop codes are live. So drop should be starting any minute now. As the new drop codes are up, all we have to do is wait for everybody in these divisions to enter them. And then match will be starting. So looks like it's going to be just another couple minutes here. Typically they try to give as many people time to enter these drop codes as possible. So looks like it could be another couple minutes, maybe another 5 minutes, somewhere around there. Obviously depends on how quickly everybody gets into the lobby. Yes. Both drop codes are up, so you will have to keep an eye on when these drops actually happen. I know, obviously, at the beginning of the stream, drop happened very quickly. We're hoping for another quick, easy, breezy drop with no issues, but we'll, of course, have to keep an eye on when these drops actually happen. So it looks like Miko and Malachi are already both in drop and ready to go. Obviously, them being our main team. And just in case you are just now tuning into the stream, SteelBall 1, aka Miko and Malachi, are our main team tonight. Zfighters, aka Zarek and Gavin, is our secondary team. And finally, the SixSeveners, aka Matthew and Cohen, is our third team. So obviously we'll be watching all 3 teams, bouncing around, seeing what action, what combat is going on. But of course, we always start the drops off with our primary teams, and again, that is Malachi and Miko. All right, sorry about that. Had to cough very quickly, so I apologize for that. But as we just wait for these drops to get underway, very quickly filling up the lobby here. Looks like there could be some issues going on with the DQ to drop code, but don't think that will affect us. I believe all of our teams are Division 1 right now. Or I guess I should say, let me go back. All of the teams we are watching are Division 1. That sounds a little better. in this lobby, almost at the magic number as we continue to see the number jump up. But you guys obviously can't see it, but I can. And in case you're just now tuning in, this is your first time ever tuning into Valhallan Camp Hill. One, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate that. And two, if you ever see me looking down, kind of down and off to the side a little bit, I know for perspective it looks probably a little weird to you guys, but this is where the monitor is, where I see the game and all of that fun stuff. So just keeping an eye on it, make sure that the drop hasn't started or anything like that. All right, here, and getting very close to that match now. There's just another minute or two, I anticipate, until we are started. It's just another minute or two. Still currently waiting for that magic loading screen. I guess I don't know. But very excited to see how this drop goes.
We're all good. So Jamie typed in the wrong code. Silly Jamie.
It looks like was some issues with the drop code, maybe just a typing error. So gonna have to fix that. Again, luckily none of the teams that we are watching is Div 2, so we won't have to deal with any of those issues that we are that they are currently experiencing. We should still be dropping on schedule time, and we are very quickly getting into the drop, very quickly getting closer to that magical number of players. Just a few more players and potentially a few more minutes for everything to get started here. And again, I always apologize for Fortnite. Obviously, you guys have to just listen to me yap for minutes on end. Fortunately, we cannot control drops. We cannot control the codes. It's something that the league handles, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say. So, we apologize for the inconvenience of the wait times between action, but right now is a great time to get up, maybe grab a drink of water, eventually go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do to prepare yourself to hopefully watch your child compete in this next drop and hopefully do well in this next drop. Of course, that is what we want to see, but we encourage anybody and everybody to watch every stream that we produce. Of course, some of that is maybe me being a little biased because, well, I am the stream manager. And the caster most of the time, so of course I want you guys in here, but also just because I know a lot of parents do their best to support Valhallan Camp Hill, especially if your students attend here, and obviously we want to spread that support as deeply as possible, so we greatly appreciate everybody who tunes in. And I believe we are just about at that magic number, so should be getting started here any minute now. And again, for those of you that are just now tuning in, or maybe just now coming back and didn't get to hear me say it the first time, the teams in order of what we will be watching tonight are SteelBall number 1. That is Golden Requiem, aka Malachi, and Miko, aka SRW Miko. Team number 2 is Zfighters, and that is Zarek, aka Z-Fight, and Gavin, aka Novel Movie. And finally, the third team is the SixSeveners, and that team is made up of Matthew, aka Solar Rotten, and Cohen, aka 6 or 7. We are just a couple seconds off a drop here. I hope you guys are excited. I hope you got your popcorn, got your dinner, whatever it is, you went to the bathroom. I hope you guys are ready to get locked back in for some high quality duo building Fortnite as we are set to launch, I guess drop any second now. Finally, just waiting for this potentially last duo or two to join up. We're just waiting for the time. It looks like time just ticked over, so we should be switching any second now. As soon as I get the okay, as soon as I see that the drop has started, we will be switching. Just another couple seconds. Everybody is ready. Everybody is locked in. I know our players are wanting better for their drops this time. Any second now. Any second. We should be getting underway again, guys. I apologize for the inconvenience, for the long delay between drops. But we are very close, minutes, if not seconds away. I know I keep saying that, and I apologize, but I'm excited. I'm sure you guys are excited as well. We are officially late, but that's okay. Still just waiting. Oh, I saw it flick for a second. We're so close now. And ladies and gentlemen, into the loading screen we go. Here we go. Watching Team SteelBall 1, aka Malachi and Miko. Let's hope they can do a little bit better this drop than they did last drop. Let's hope all of our teams can do a little better than they did last drop. And we get to see some action. And it looks like here, Miko and Malachi picking another spot that is pretty far away. Potentially trying to play a little safer here with this long flight that they're going to have. But I believe this time it is a named POI, so quite a bit more loot is going to be at these guys' disposal. But the Gores have to be careful, and other teams are going to be thinking the same thing. And it looks like someone could potentially be contesting their drop spot, and it's going to get there a lot quicker than they are, at least from the perspective that we have of Malachi right now. And it looks like here they're going to abandon this drop spot, potentially land a little earlier, a little bit location a little closer to where the bus line was. Then go shiny shafts. The problem at this point now is they potentially got beat to this spot, so even though they might not have noticed a team land here, they could. And we are seeing already a bunch of teams dropping. Luckily, it looks like these guys are okay and are going to get shiny shafts all to themselves. And this is a spot that has a lot of metal. So really, Miko and Malachi need to take advantage of that and need to farm up this metal to maximum and make sure that they are full metal before they decide to leave here and take any engagements. Unless, of course, someone tries to crash onto them. It looks like these guys are just currently memeing a little bit, just having a little fun. So while they're doing that, we're going to switch to see how the team of Zfighters is doing. Alrighty. Currently watching Zfighters again. That team is composed of Zarek and Gavin. Watching Gavin's perspective here, Zarek is unfortunately playing from home. And it looks like these guys potentially landed that name POI to the right. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but made their way into the flower fields here, where they are quite out in the middle of the open, but Not too worried. And it looks like we're going to see some building up get used here. And it looks like these guys are going to find a couple more chests in the area, these letter chests. I'm not exactly sure what they give you compared to normal chests, but going to find a couple movement items as well. There's a lot of movement items this season, so we anticipate to see players each having their own preferred. Definitely wanting to keep that in mind based on what item they are carrying. Right now we see Gavin carrying the boom gauntlets, I think they're called. I forget exactly what the name of them is, but the base boost gauntlets, that's what they're called. And I don't know how much really of a movement item they're supposed to be. Obviously a lot of players using them as a movement item, but something that we've seen people use last week and struggle with a little bit. And Gavin's going to take a lot of damage here as they get caught out trying to farm some brick. And there we see those base boost gauntlets being used as an aggressive item. Gavin is able to land a shot there for 13. Fortunately, just has the hyperburst pistol, so isn't going to do a lot of damage from that distance. And again, we're going to see those base boost gauntlets used, and potentially that time used as a movement item, as that team just wants to get away, doesn't want to challenge this team of Gavin and Zarek. But we are going to switch over to the SixSeveners for just a couple minutes and see how those guys are doing. Alright, currently on Matthew and Cohen, and it looks like these guys are doing the same thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. At pump power, mining a bunch of brick, a bunch of metal here. Both of them are doing it, and these guys know how to play the game fundamentally well. An island is actually going to spawn pretty close to them. We could potentially see them decide to take that if they wanted to, at 270 meters away. All right, still currently farming up here, and we're going to go back to SteelBall 1 as we anticipate that these guys are just going to keep farming here and are going to survey the map. So Miko and Malachi, welcome back. All right, back on Miko and Malachi as these guys actively surveying the map, potentially going to try and find some kills here. And some shots, looks like northeast of them, maybe north of them. Gonna have to be aware of those. Fortunately, we don't have a perspective of them yet. Or I guess I should say, don't have eyes on them yet. And actually, we do see a team right in front of them. As Miko's going to try and take some shots here. Malachi's going to drive right into him, but Miko's going to take a lot of damage. A lot of damage taken from Miko. Malachi not taking nearly as much. And we're going to see Miko having to use a medkit here as they drive by another vehicle. And this is something that, even though they're playing more aggressive, I just don't know if they're doing that well. Is taking these engagements. Malachi just trying to drive into everybody and putting them in bad spots. It's giving them a lot of damage taken, and they're not doing a lot of damage. But we know what team this is. This has got to be the SixSeveners. This has got to be Matthew and Cohen. Miko just sitting in the car. And it looks like they are going to decide to get out. Malachi going to try and take some shots. Takes a little bit of damage. Don't know if he lands any. And it looks like here Miko and Malachi are going to take this high ground. Need to be aware, though, I believe this is the same spot we saw Matthew and Cohen go to last drop. So Matthew and Cohen have a line that they like. They could potentially push Miko and Malachi, even though they are up on this mountain. And it looks like Miko and Malachi are just going to, not quickly, but make their way off of that mountaintop a little bit deeper into zone here. I see a bunch of surveying going on. Another car actually quite close to them, and some shots. Decide not to engage. Just going to go to the gas station, fuel up their car, restore it a little bit. Gonna try and pick this gas station clean of anything that was left behind. Not a lot, but definitely some stuff, some smalls, some ammo. All that stuff is crucial, especially as we are transitioning into this mid and late game. Back to full health. I anticipate back to full gas. And while these guys are surveying the map, we're going to switch back to Zfighters and see how they're doing. Still currently alive, also doing the same thing. This is something that we see a lot of our teams do. They survey the map. They try to take these engagements that they want, especially with that aggressiveness that they have been working on this week and the last week. Potentially some players in front of them, maybe a car or something, and we do see some shots southwest of them, so I'm going to anticipate that they were players. Yes, players right into that bush. Gavin's going to line up a bunch of shots, does 106 damage, and they're going to want to engage. And this is the aggressiveness that we were just talking about. Going to try and use the car to break some of their build. Is unable to. We're going to see the base boost gauntlets here used an aggressive item here, and Gavin's going to use them as a movement item, try to get height. Gavin potentially wanting to get out, and it looks like Zarek is on the same page. Zarek going to try and land a couple shots as they are rotating out. Car going to take a bunch of damage, and unfortunately for Zfighters, this car does not have a lot of gas, so they're either going to have to decide what to do now or abandon it and try to find another car. Not really rotating away as they rotate right into another car. Decide just to drive on by each other. No harm, no foul. And they are officially out of gas, and this is not a position that they want to be in. Luckily, there's another car right there, but can they get to it safely? We don't know. We don't know if they've been seen yet. They're so close at this point, and it looks like they are going to get to it safely. And they are going to get out of Dodge. as quickly as possible. And we're going to tune back in. Oh, actually, never mind, as we see some combat going on here. Gavin actually gets launched off. He is able to recover, though. And we see the base boost going get used as Zarek just absolutely launches him off the hill. Gavin going to use him as well to close the distance. Surprised they're trying to chase this car down, especially not in theirs. A lot of damage is going to come through. Absolutely laser beaming that car, but can't find the brake on it. Another car drives by. Again, absolutely lighting it up, but just not enough. And these guys are now not in a great position. Have to try to go up this mountain, and it looks like they're going to use the zip line to do that. And actually, we see in the chat that Malachi finds a kill. Although Zarek finds one as well. And we're going to switch to the SixSeveners very quickly and see how those guys are doing. Driving around this lake here. And these guys actually away from the action. That's kind of surprising, as they're just going to farm up and use their resources the best they can here. So we're going to go back to SteelBall 1. Miko and Malachi in some action as they drive by an opponent. Some shots going down. And it looks like here, I don't know exactly what they were going for there. These guys being in a very close position to where the Zfighters just were. Miko taking a launch pad to potentially try and trigger it for Malachi in the car, but a little bit of a miscomm here, as now they're separated. I think you're going to take some loot here that's on top of this power line. Malachi finally joining him. And they're going to try and hold this high ground. And unfortunately, though, this does not offer a lot of cover for them. Luckily, they are going to be able to build to provide some of that cover. But definitely not a terrible position for these guys to be in. So it looks like they could zip away here, decide not to. Some shots northeast of them. Potentially shots up on the island, and it is. And Malachi is able, or excuse me, Miko is able to land one. He's able to land two. Take some shots up from another direction, and very quickly, Miko is very low, and he's getting knocked. And Malachi falls as well. And if it is in Deem yet again, but we still have some other teams left, so let's see how Zfighters are doing. Same with the SixSeveners. And Zfighters are going to get scanned here. A little separated, and it looks like they're going to very quickly group back up. And they drive right into somebody. A lot of damage coming through. Gavin is going to fall first. And just like that, Zarek also falls. So we're down to one team. And just like that, the last duo left of the teams that we were watching the SixSeveners, Matthew, aka Solar Rotten, and Cohen, aka 6 or 7. Can these guys do it? Can they close it out? We saw it. We saw similar drop one where these guys made it far but couldn't quite do it. Let's see if they got it in them this time. Right on the edge of this new zone here. These guys positioning is such a big brain play. And Matthew lands a bunch of shots on someone pixel skating behind him, although takes quite a bit of damage. Takes about 100 there. Is he able to build out, but doesn't have many. He's going to have to wait for his teammate to throw him. He's going to be able to very quickly get himself back up to 200 or 198 technically, but it looks like here they're going to rotate out just a little bit, not fully. That circle starts to pull. They're going to want to make sure that they are in it. So they're going to hug this circle tight, this storm tight. They're going to build right up on the edge here. Not in the same box. Matthew taking quite a bit of damage. Actually, excuse me, Cohen taking quite a bit of damage. And Cohen gets knocked. Looks like Matthew might try and go for the reboot here. Or the res here, excuse me. And gets pushed and takes quite a bit of damage very early on and is gonna fall as well. And unlucky for the SixSeveners. That ends their final drop of the night. Wow. Just, again, we saw the same thing. I don't really know what it was tonight. I'm not sure if it was a little bit of panic, if it was a little bit of pressure. It was a little bit of tiredness, it's just very hard to say. We saw every team we watched just not perform really to the expectation that we typically have for them. Obviously, Matthew and Cohen doing a good job getting solid placements both rounds, both drops, but just not enough. We see these guys consistently. All of these teams do so well. Again, I don't know what it was this week, but unfortunately just falling a little short. And we are gonna pass on interviews again, as there's still a lot of Fortnite going on. We would have to wait quite a while to potentially get the players or one of the coaches up here. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have not stream. If not, tune back in on either Wednesday or Thursday. Obviously, keep an eye out for the notification if you have those turned on. If you don't, turn notifications on. But keep an eye out for the notifications. Keep an eye out for our next live stream. And with myself, Coach Christian, and everybody here from Valhallan Camp Hill, thank you guys so much for the support. And good night, everybody.